Hello friends, today I am going to discuss about special sense which you can guess from the picture over here, that is the olfaction. Uh, in the olfaction we are going to discuss about the definition of olfaction, then what is olfactory system, then structure of the olfactory system, what is the pathway, and at last there are a few questions which you have to answer by yourself. As we can see here, that olfaction is the sense of smell. It helps us to perceive the smell of different substances like flower, perfume, etc. That means whatever is odorable, that is felt by the sense of smell, which is olfaction. So depending upon the olfactory capacity, the animal world is divided into macrosmatic animal and microsmatic animal. Now macrosmatic animals are those animals which have a highly developed olfactory system and a larger olfactory area, like dogs, foxes, etc. In comparison to those animals, the human is microsmatic in nature. That means it does not have larger olfactory area like those macrosmatic animals, and the olfactory system is also not so much improved in man in comparison to dogs and foxes. Now there is an instrument called olfactometer which is used to determine the minimum identifiable odor. If a person have the total loss of the smell sensation, it is called anosmia, and hypersmia is the opposite one of anosmia. Now this is our olfactory system. In the left hand side, this is the nostril. From here the air enters into the mouth, and the oxygenated air bifurcated towards the lungs, and the odorable substance gets upward and hits the olfactory epithelium, that is the olfactory bulb. So this is just the opposite direction, you can see. And now this olfactory bulb is much more detailed over here in the right hand side. So this is the olfactory epithelium. Here written a term odorant. Odorant means those odorable substances which hits the olfactory epithelium, and the perception of whose the going to be taken internally. So these are the cilias which are very much stimulated by the odorants. They are all present in the olfactory epithelium, and these are the olfactory receptors, these color substances. It forms the synapse in the olfactory bulb. So this is the total olfactory bulb. There are axons of the mitral cells with which this synapses have been made, and this this round shape is called the glomerulus. So when an odorant substance smelled, then the olfactory epitheliums are stimulated. This stimulus continuously goes into the olfactory bulb. Then they make the synapses with the axons of the mitral cells, and ultimately in this way the nerve, this olfactory sensation goes to the brain. So this is the olfactory system. Regarding the structure of the olfactory system is made up of olfactory receptors, olfactory area, olfactory mucous membrane, and above all olfactory bulbs. Now olfactory receptors, as the name implies, these are receptor cells which are supported by sustentacular cells having the micro projections in the apical layers. Actually they receive the stimulus of this sense of smell. The olfactory area is formed by some part of the superior nasal, then upper part of the septum, and the roof of the nose. The dog is a macrosmatic animal which has a large olfactory area. That means if we compare the olfactory area of the dog and the human being, we will find that this dogs and the foxes, who are the macrosmatic animal, have larger olfactory area than the human being. So larger the olfactory area, larger is the sniffing capability. Next, the olfactory mucous membrane, which is basically formed by olfactory receptors. So there are about 1020 cilia per receptor cells. And the olfactory bulbs are large number of nerve cells called granules associated closely with mitral and tuft cells. These are the two very vital cells of this olfactory systems, that is mitral and the tuft cells. Then mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, etc. are present over here. Pathway of olfaction, just we have gone through that this olfactory receptors are there which actually receives the stimulus. Then from there it enters into the olfactory bulb that is written over here. They form the glomerulus, just the figure we have passed through. There it makes the synapses with the mitral and the tuft cell axons. It is totally enters into the olfactory tubercle, and after crossing there it is anterior perforated substance, and one part is bifurcated towards the anterior commissure and the other part enters into the olfactory cortex. That is written here. This peripiriform cortex is considered as primary olfactory cortex, and from there it enters into the secondary olfactory area which receives fibers from the primary olfactory cortex. And here the analysis has been done that whether the sensation of olfaction will be received or rejected, and whatever the analysis and the interpretation is perceived from here, that is again with the help of the motor nerve that goes back to the nose, and the nose act accordingly. Time to test yourself. Some questions are given here. You have to give the answer of that to test yourself. So thank you very much for your patience listening. It will be continued to part 4. Keep in touch. So long. Bye bye.